Chef. Steph and the Warriors visiting Houston for Game 1. And Booze, if you just watched the play I'm going to show you first, you would think it was the Rockets' night. Şengün,
Oh! Brought back memories right there. Great job getting it started for the Rockets.
just knocking one down over the top of Draymond Green. But this first half would belong to the Warriors and to Steph in a low-scoring affair. He had it going.
No, he was cooking from the very beginning. He did a great job of going inside, getting layups early, and then the three-point line started splashing for him.
He had 16 at the half. Warriors up 47-34 in a low-scoring affair. And then it's Jimmy Butler. Watch him talking to Reggie Miller on the sideline. He says, "You like that? Look at that. It's Reggie he's talking to over there."
Love that, man. No, playoff Jimmy showed up big last night.
He had 25. Next Warrior. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
I mean, that's a shot only Steph Curry can make that shot.
I don't know. For him, it's a good look. Warriors up 23, but the Rockets come storming back. It's a 7-point game early in the fourth, but when they needed a bucket all night, it was that man.
Yeah, you're going to go to your Hall of Famer right there. Clutch shot after clutch shot.
Warriors go up by 10. Rockets cut it to 5. Here's Amen Thompson. That one's going to go. It's just a 3-point game, but then come on, watch this inbounds play. Look how quickly he gets this up. Up. Boom.
That's all the space he needs, Greeny.
How do you stop that? 31 points for Steph. 30 seconds left. It's an 11-point game, and that one is going to be the capper. The Warriors take Game 1. They steal home court advantage, 95-85, and afterwards it was Jimmy Buckets talking about the man of the night.
Like I always say, Batman comes out of nowhere. You never see him coming, then he just falls from the sky, from a building, behind the door, and does some incredible things, man. He's going to be the reason that we do win it all. We all know that, but we got to protect him at all costs.
Protect that man at all costs. We got Booze and we've got Marcus Morris. Marcus, what do we say about Steph? I mean, I feel like I've gone through my thesaurus and found every adjective I can think of and all of the complimentary terms. What do we say about Steph Curry after that performance last night at the age of 37?
I mean, are we surprised? Like, Steph Curry's been doing this for a while now. Right now, he has Jimmy to take a little bit off of him, to give him a little bit help on the scoring load. But Steph's just doing Steph things, man. Playing in the league and seeing this, I'm just not even surprised anymore.
So Steph was brilliant. And we could sit here and just say that over and over again. But the point you made on our call this morning, Booze, is that it was not what any of them were doing on the offensive end that stuck out to you.
Yeah, their defense was outstanding. I mean, they got guys that are 6'7", 6'8", Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green locking up everybody. Did a great job on Şengün, even though he had a good game. Jalen Green didn't play like himself. Van Fleet didn't play like himself. Brooks had a limited night. They did a good job on the other guys, made it difficult for them, got steals. Their steals from them the offense. And then obviously Steph Curry and Jimmy took care of the offense on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't stay up late and watch the game last night, the Rockets shot 21% from 3 last night, just 6 of 29. Defense obviously has something to do with that. Marcus, how about what the Warriors did on the defensive end last night?
To be quite frank, the Warriors match up really well with the Rockets. The Rockets don't really have that much size. Şengün is their biggest player. He's also the second leading scorer. So if Jalen Green don't have a big game, where is the scoring going to come from? I really don't see where Houston will have an advantage on the offensive end. You got Jimmy Buckets on Jalen Green, and they're switching 5. And, you know, I think the Warriors have seen a team like this, but they don't have the size to go inside each and every play. Şengün is a really good player, really good post player, but I think Draymond Green could do a good job of switching 5 onto each of those guys, and you only have 2 guys that can really create a basket for the Houston Rockets.
Jalen Green was 3 of 15 from the floor last night. Van Vliet, which is their playoff experience, was 2 of 13 from three-point range. Booze, you know what championship caliber teams look like. Does Golden State look like one?
Absolutely. They got 2 guys that can close for him. If Jimmy got it going, Jimmy can close for him. Obviously, Steph, we've seen him do it time and time again. But their defense is at a championship level. That's what I'm impressed by. If this team is playing defense like this, they can easily get to the Western Conference Finals and maybe to the Finals.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little more about what we saw from the Lakers this weekend and some of the other teams. But it was a chalky kind of weekend. The Warriors are the favorites despite being on the road. They looked awfully good.
The Rockets, the Warriors, and we expect a war. My turn, your turn. Between Steph Curry and the Butler here. Curry, 3. Oh! Curry dialing long distance. He'll throw up a shot. Oh, geometrically, that should not have happened. Not one, but two closers on the same team. That puts an exclamation mark on this Golden State win in Game 1.
Good stuff on the calls last night. We opened with the Warriors' big win, big performances again from both Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. And here's the good news if you're a fan of Golden State. When they win Game 1 under Steve Kerr, they are 20-1 in playoff series. You'll remember the only one they didn't win. It was the 2016 final against the Bronze Cavs when they were up 3-1, and then it got away from them. Carlos Boozer, Marcus Morris with me here. Let's run the floor through the weekend in the NBA playoffs. Celtics cruised past Orlando yesterday, but in the fourth quarter, Jason Tatum lands awkwardly on the wrist after being fouled. X-rays negative, but here we go. Let's go with this. Booze, do the Celtics still win this series easily, even if Tatum is compromised?
Yes, they got too many other guys that can get the job done.
Yeah, they will need him ultimately, though, right? I mean, if they need to give him rest for a day or two or a game or two or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, if they want to win a championship, you need Jason Tatum. But to get out the first round, they have other guys.
Yeah, again, the X-rays initially negative. Next, yesterday, the Thunder beat the Grizzlies by 51 points, which is the fifth biggest margin of victory in postseason history. So if I said OKC is going to remain undefeated until the NBA Finals, they have this series and then the winner of Nuggets-Clippers. Would you buy that?
No, even though as impressive as they looked in Game 1, they were terrific, checked off all the boxes. When they get past this round, the Clippers and the Nuggets will definitely get a win.
Yeah, you like the Clippers. I think that's a matchup that should be tough for this no matter how it goes.
Great matchup.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. And then Saturday night, primetime Lakers run off the court at home by the Timberwolves despite a hot start from Luka Doncic, who finished with 37. Where do you point the finger of blame, Booze, at the Lakers for their Game 1 loss?
I mean, as opposed to just saying, the Timberwolves did their job, but for the Lakers, the others have to step up. Only 13 bench points, Greeny.
13 bench points for LA. It's interesting because the Minnesota bench players, their quote-unquote supporting cast, all had a pretty good game, or many of them had a pretty game. My old buddy Jalen Rose always used to say to me when we were doing NBA together, and always sticks in my head, the role players tend to play great at home. That's where you count on it. This time, it seemed to flip a little bit here. It was Minnesota that got the good performance from the quote-unquote other players.
Yeah, McDaniels was probably the best player on the court last night, did a great job. Naz Reid had 23 off the bench. The others from Minnesota showed up. This is a series where everybody picked the Lakers. We picked the Lakers too. Mm-hmm. Minnesota has a chip on their shoulder, and they're playing like they have something to prove.
Well, we know that Shannon Sharp has picked the Lakers repeatedly and always in rhyming form. He does it in couplet form, and he's got them winning in 5. Well, Stephen A. watched the game on Saturday night, and he was giving Shannon the business. Take a look at the tweet here from Stephen A. Someone just texted me with this message to send directly to Shannon Sharp. AAA, NWA, I don't care what Shannon has to say, Lakers ain't winning in 5. So let's start, Marcus, with your thoughts on how well that rhymed. And secondly, I will ask you that ever-popular question. Was this a bad game or a bad sign, Marcus Morris, for the Lakers?
I would say just a bad game, right? The others just didn't come to play. Anytime you get 48 points from Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid, something wasn't right in that scouting report, right? I just don't think guys were just amping up to play. You're playing at home in crypto arena. You just have to have more energy, like offensive rebounding, diving on the floor. The best bright part about it was Luka came to play, right? We've seen the Luka dominance, and LeBron James, we know how effective he could be in this series, but the others have to play better and not just making shots, but just with more energy, more aggressiveness, and better on the defensive end.
Well, you're not the only one who noticed that the aggressiveness didn't seem to be there. Let's put up the Magic tweet, because Magic Johnson, one of the greatest Lakers of them all, and obviously still so much a part of what they're doing in L.A., tweeted, Coach J.J. Redick did a great job all season, but he didn't do a good job for Game 1. The Lakers stood around on offense, played too much one-on-one basketball, and he didn't make any necessary adjustments. Booze, when you see a team that got beat to the loose ball, is that on the coach? Do you point the finger of blame, at least for Game 1, at J.J. Redick?
I mean, the coach's job is to get the guys prepared for the game. Once you're on the court, it's the player's job. In my opinion, the players got to make the plays. The coaches can put you in position to have success and get you prepared for the game. But if I see a ball on the floor and it's you and me, Greeny, I'm getting the ball. Sorry,
Right.
Greeny. That's got to be the attitude of the guys out there on the court.
Yes. Well, if it's you and me, I'm not really worried about it. I would bet on you too. But in general, when it's one NBA player against another NBA player, I mean, if the Timberwolves, quote unquote, well, if they looked ready for playoff intensity and the Lakers didn't, is that a bad sign?
That could be a sign on the coach. Did you have your guys ready for the game tonight? Minnesota looked ready. The Lakers did not.
Right. That's the concern. So, Marcus, give me one adjustment. What's one thing the Lakers have to do differently or better to win Game 2? Otherwise, they are in big trouble in round 1.
You have to respect the others. You know, like I said, 48 points from 2 guys that's not named Anthony Edwards is unacceptable, right? You have to play these guys straight up and down. But also, listen, they did differently in the regular season. This is the playoffs. Everything goes out the window. Scouting report goes out the window. You have to come out. You have to guard your yard. You have to play hard. You just have to match the intensity. So the one thing I would say is be ready. Be ready to fight.
We're going to find that out. Meanwhile, Friday, we've got a trio of NBA playoff Game 3s. We will have Celtics Magic starting at 7 Eastern. That's on ESPN. We have the Pacers and Bucks at 8 Eastern. That's going to begin on ESPNU. And then the Lakers and Timberwolves will tip at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. So all the action